Mm, 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 mm. All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming this early morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. and I've been up since then. And something crossed my page, in a sense. Not so much as my page, but it was on my cell phone, but yet it was on my YouTube. So it didn't cross it, but as I was listening to what I was saying yesterday, which is unusual, but being so I had woke up so early and I've just decided to go on, continue to lie down and just relax and just was looking at my phone on YouTube and I ran up on something I never ever seen on YouTube. But this individual been on YouTube for quite some time. And the strangest thing was it was almost like it was meant. Hmm. I also want to share with you all, I have been able to just pay attention to a lot of things, even say for instance, coffee. You see this coffee here? It's nice and hot. It's like I like it. Mm. But every time I see someone on YouTube talking and they have a cup and they're drinking, guess what? 99% of them are faking it. They really don't have anything in that cup. And it's for the life of me, I just don't understand that. If you're faking that you got a cup with something in it and you're sipping, what is the purpose to come on live or to come and make a video portraying you're sipping or you're drinking from a cup that has nothing in it? Because it enhances their ability to think that they're professional or they are really doing something because people really think they are famous. YouTube have caused people to really think that they are so important and they are so famous. But you know what? I couldn't see myself being anything but a servant of the Most High Yah, especially in this day. I wouldn't want to represent no one else or nothing else or portray nothing else. But because these platforms have allowed people to use deception at the highest, they use it to the utmost. Even when it come down to them sipping a cup, you think you can, and I can already tell that there's nothing in the cup because the way they sip it, especially 99% of them are men using deception, even to the point of having a cup pretending they sipping. Sister Deborah come this morning. Normally I would have went turned around and went back to sleep, but something caught my eyes when I woke up at 5. I said a little, not a little, yeah, a little word or two to the Most High Yah. Then I got on my YouTube and I began to when you first turn it on, it's really showing you topics that people are speaking on. This particular man, I had never seen him before. I had never, you guys, seen this man before. And this is my cozy cover that I lay on this here couch. So whenever I want to get cuddled, while watching television, this is my little cubby. Uh, and this man was a Judah, and he said a lot of things that was really, 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 really important. And it made me kind of sad because he said some things about what I've mentioned to you all about how the power that bees gains power when they deal with the fetus and the blood of innocent, uh, and they gain power uh, drinking and mingling. It's just, y'all, the it's real. It's what you call dangerous real. But so much for that. Only thing about that video is that man was cutting into some things I had said this week regarding a lot of demonic mess that Oprah and all of them are doing. Um, and he was covering uh, way more than I can even cover. Uh, and I had to get off of it. And as I got off of it, I end up where Israel has ushered Dan, the tribe of Israel, Dan, into Israel, into the land of Israel. They did that way back, y'all. That's why Dan is not in Revelation. It's a reason why. And also, Jacob spoke about Dan also before he passed away. He spoke of Dan too, his son, and how Dan, the tribe of Dan, would be in the days to come. So when you get to Revelation chapter 7, you go into it. It talks about the tribes uh, and how Yah spoke to an angel to tell the other four angels on the four corners to hold the wind until they have marked uh, his, and he called his servants. And that's why I tried to explain to you all yesterday that you have to be some sort of servant in Yah. You can't just be all that and some and going somewhere and you don't serve Yah. And this is a lot of verses in there explaining to you how you yourself can be like the servant itself, himself, if you support the one that do serve the Most High Yah. And I can't understand why would that be so hard for people. It's because the people are not who they really believe within their own heart. And like he said, in their own eyes, they are right. So I guess it's just that deep in how a person believes in themselves and where they stand in this day and time. And I guess it's okay. It's okay for people to believe that, but he already explained the way you do unto the little and to the least of these little ones. These little ones are still yet people looking at the little ones as little children. We are all his children, but what they don't understand, we are those little children. That's the precious one that's doing the laboring in the vineyard. We are the servant of the Most High Yah. You see, so therefore, when one support and unite with the servants of Yah, that's how you also are in there because he sees you respecting his choice of who he has to serve him. Now, if somebody is not serving the Most High Yah and not putting Yah above all things and not serving him and not about his spirit and truth and about his light, I feel like any and every last one of individual, I will not support them. I would not unite with them. I would not even want to come into a oneness with them. But when you have someone that do serve the Most High Yah, and if you feel in your heart that they are a servant of the Most High Yah, then you being on the outside looking in don't mean nothing. It's how you support that individual that is serving the Most High Yah. He even got verses saying that. You know, there's verses in the study guide speaking on that level of what Yah has said. And I don't see how people can get certain things, but can't get that. They can't comprehend that part, but they can comprehend many other things, but they can't comprehend that part. But let me explain to y'all what what prompted me to get up and do this video this early this morning was I was like I said, I was lying down. I got up. I didn't mean to get up early, but I woke up early, and I decided to say a few words to the Most High Yah. In a sense, I need him. I can't live without you. I'm nothing without you. I can't function without you. I can't think without you. I can't repent without you. Okay? I can't pray without you. I can't, I'm nothing. So I end up then going on my YouTube on the phone while I'm lying down. And you all, I came up with the guy, but then after him, I had to cut him out because he was going so deep. And let me tell y'all something about somebody going so deep. I pull out because there is a fear of going all the way in and realizing that this person is saying something that I've said throughout time after time after time. And this means danger for everyone that have heard what I've said. Because this man was going deep. And I didn't need to go his deep because the Ruach was my deepest. And I didn't want to go deep in his. And I told y'all, I will get on there and I might listen to a few minutes of what somebody's saying. After that, I'm out. And if they captured me for a few minutes, is because they're saying something that the Spirit have already spoken to me and have broken down in me. And now they finna go on a deep end, another direction, or they going in the same direction, but even deeper than the Spirit even willing to allow me to go. You see? So I pull out. So after that, I went to another video, and it was about, I think it was posted, it said a day ago, maybe a few days ago. And it hurt me so bad because it was about Dan, the tribe of Dan. Now, if you go back to Genesis chapter 49, you can also see and hear what Jacob, before he passed away, said something to all his sons, all 12 tribes, and he was telling them what is going to befall them in the end day, in the last days. They didn't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that. And so Jacob poured out what he knew from the spirit that was in him to his sons. And he said something as well to Dan. And it matches Dan as we are residing here today. Dan is also, you can see Dan, I believe, in Deuteronomy 28 when it talks about the ground and the heat and so on. In Deuteronomy 28 and the plagues poured out onto the tribes of Israel. And you can hear really Sudan. You can hear over in that area where Dan, his tribe, pretty much headed, you see, and they went into uh, Sudan and what is it? Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Okay. And what made me get up to do this is I want to say this to you all. Just seeing that video made me even wiser to what the spirit of the Ruach is teaching in this day. Because people, you ain't heard truth until you heard truth. And that goes for me too. You ain't heard it until you heard it. It fits to the T who Dan is. And then one might wonder in the study guide in Revelation, why is Dan, the tribe of Dan, not included in the 144? Dan has joined hands with those who stole the identity of his brother. A lot of people really don't understand why I say that I'm here on behalf of Judah, the tribe of Judah. I'm a servant of the Most High for the mission of Judah. Can I speak to others outside of Judah? Sure. Surely I can. And they also can hear also what I'm saying. And it's like a closure. It's like the Father is bringing so much light in the midst of all this darkness. It's like, I'm wondering I am seeing as much as anybody else. I mean, I'm actually seeing things and learning things even in this midnight hour. So the Ruach is revealing things to me, actually revealing things to me in such a time as this. And am I grateful? Yes, I am. Do it come with long suffering and endurance? Sure it do. Because I learned this morning that the reason why Dan is not included in Revelation as the 144, because Dan has joined with the enemy, those who stolen his own brother's identity. A lot of people don't understand Israel as Israel. The identity that was stolen was Jew. The identity that was really stolen was Judah. This is why no one on the four corners is speaking on behalf of us that are in the United States, that are the tribe of Judah. Because it is said that we would be hated. And we that has our eyes open enough to see, we're still naive because we don't understand the whole house of Israel is not in the level of captivity as Judah. So Dan joined in or with those who have stolen his brother's identity. Israel made sure that the tribe of Dan was ushered over to Israel, and they titled it Zion. They did it way back, y'all. Why is it we, as the tribes that are under the curse to the point where the shackles and the yoke around our necks, that's not all of Israel. And we as Judah is so dumb. We're trying to represent the whole house of Israel. And that's what's throwing many off, because instead of just representing your tribe, as Dan represented only their tribe, and find out that all this time Dan has been connected with those who betrayed. Not betrayed, but who has stolen his brother Judah identity. I didn't know that. I knew that there was a good reason why Dan wasn't included in Revelation chapter 7 as one of the 144. But who dispersed it nationwide television? Who put it on the web, the whole beginning to the end of where Dan is at? Guess where Dan is at, y'all? Dan is over there near, is it Hammett? Over there near, it's in Jerusalem. It's in not Jerusalem, yeah, in Jerusalem. But Israel, the one that had stolen the identity, they have brought Dan over to be the one that in Mount Zion. I'm sitting there watching it today. And I think they posted, I believe it was yesterday. When I saw that, I was like, no, they didn't. They showed you how that they took, I think it's cedared Israel from out of Ethiopia, and it's a corner of Ethiopia, took them through Sudan, picked them up, those that are in Sudan and those that are in Ethiopia, and took them to a part in Israel and given them their territory, their little area. And there's so many of them there. And they call the area in which they have given them Zion. They also says that that is the promise that he will bring them back home to Zion. And guess who's claiming to be in Zion, you guys? Dan. All this time. All this time. Looking just like Ethiopians. So Sister Deborah brought up to you all probably a month, maybe even a month ago, a month and a half, to stop thinking the Ethiopian's Bible is the true Bible. It has all the facts. The Ethiopian Bible was what Dan, one of the tribes, they had a large tribe of Dan in Ethiopia. When they took over and sieged the land, that's the area Dan ran to. But guess where Dan is at now? Over there with the fake Us, who have claimed Dan's brother's identity, Judah. And I think that's where I knew that Judah, out of all the 12, and Jacob said that he was slothful and lazy and he wasn't going to get up and do anything. And I see that, not see it today, but I've always saw that, always seen it. Even to the point of their so-called awakening. They cannot come on here and tell you what I'm telling you now. But they awaken. They have no idea that Dan has already played the role against them already to steal your identity. Dan has took on the position of Mount Zion. Is it Mount Zion? No. But the same fake Jews who have taken and stolen the true identity of Judah, they made it and fixed it up way back in 1948. And throughout the time, they've been flying all of Dan's relatives over to Israel and giving them a land. See, you all thought those people was over there claiming to be Israel and they still in their land. Nope. They're claiming to be one of the tribes, which is Dan. And they're have joined Israel to fake that the true Israel has returned home to Mount Zion. Way back. When I saw that whole video, I was like, this is why you know that our men of Judah is totally wiped out mentally. Because none of them have done the search. And I ask you, go on there and see. Go on to the site on YouTube and said Israel brought Dan back to Israel. Mount Zion. Or Zion. Just say Zion. It'll blow your mind. And what you see is people who look like Ethiopians. Because that's where Dan, see, we went to the four corners. So we was dispersed according to our ways. So happened Judah's ways were more like the United Snakes than anything. That's why we end up here. But everybody got dispersed. Dan's tribe ran toward Ethiopia through Sudan to Ethiopia, and there they reside. So that's why a lot of Judah think and feel that Ethiopian Bible is so 100. No, it still got the fake ooze orders. It still has been rewritten by them. See, that's why I tell you all, the word can't be a book. It has to be what is in you, which is the Ruach. Yah is the word. We are reading stories and books. Anytime they want to switch it, they can. And we are believing. So, but to know the true word is what rests in us. The true word. Why? If he's going to come and he's going to teach us all things, ain't all things going to be him? So what makes us think that the word is a book? And then they said the Ethiopian Bible, it has everything in it. You all, everything still the Europeans have placed in it. I don't get why Judah could be so weak in minded. I wouldn't have, but then I think about Jacob. Jacob said it. Jacob said it in so many words regarding Judah. Judah ain't gonna double check nothing. He ain't gonna try to get it right. He's just gonna sit down, crouch down, like a cub or a lion. And from the cub all the way to a lion, just crouch down, doing nothing. So I learned that today. Never knowing where Dan was. That's where Dan is at, y'all. Over there in Israel with land supporting Israel That's sad. Celebrating the tradition of Israel because they allowed them over in that land, making them feel that they're going back to their homeland. That's what they did. And then for that reason, they took on the fake ooze religion as Israel and the way they serve the Most High. Go on YouTube and key it up so you can see it and just watch the whole thing. It's not even that long. But it happened, you all, so many years ago. So many years ago. And I'm still trying to figure out what is going on with Judah to not even pick that one up. See, they so into doing a search, but you can't do a search and you can't do a study unless the teacher is present in you. No matter what search you do or what study you do, it's vain and vexed without the true teacher in you, teaching you from the outs, from the inside out. But what people are desiring and what people are doing, especially the Hebrew Israelites, so-called, they're teaching you from the outside because they think they can show you precepts and lines and little here and little there. They fail to realize that's why nobody's listening to it. But weak men. That's it. Weak of the weak of men. And that's what the weak of men do when they want to feel that they are men. They need to go to the men, the ones that's there to teach them, oh, you a man, you a leader, you a ruler, you a king. You see? And they begin to teach them how important to get the wife under submission and how important to have as many wives, if you please, that you rule your household. But can you really rule your household without the Father's Spirit ruling you? No. But see, they don't tell them that. They're after the flesh of Judah. They're after these men flesh. Why? Because they can control the men flesh. Why? Because the men are weak to their words. And the men think that makes them strong if they're a leader, king, and ruler. You strong when you know who you are from the inside out. You don't need a man on the outside to tell you who you are on the inside because he can't. All he can do is manipulate you that you're supposed to get in line with what he said you are instead of knowing, well, what am I from the standpoint of he that created me? They don't know nothing about that. So they go in that order that man has created for them. And this is why they're missing so much of what Sister Deborah is saying. And as time go on, I think about how the Spirit is constantly allowing me to learn and see things. And that's a part of the long suffering and endurance, because the more he give me, the more I see, the more I'm enduring. I'm beginning to see that, wait a minute, are the people that far? I knew they was a long ways, like 99. You mean they 100% that far from reality of truth? And it's not so much as they that far from Sister Deborah understanding. They therefore that far from the prophet, in which Yah has put among them. They that far from Yah and his righteousness and his truth. That's how far they are. And just imagine me having to continue. And it's not like, Father, I'm complaining because I have to continue, and I am indeed, because I really, you know all things, so I don't have to explain it. You know all things, Father. But the ideal of the endurance and the long suffering, it shows you why you're long suffering and why you're doing, because of what you're in the midst of. You're out and about on this devil platform teaching spirit and truth and the light. And it's like it's bouncing off the wall. But That's the way it feels. That's the way it appears. Because so much truth is being dispersed in me till I'm like saying, who is this truth really for? Who is this truth really for? Who is this information for, Father Yah? You see? So even in this, I am like, it's just a lot, but yet it's a little. Sister Deborah is not giving people more than they can handle. Only the Father himself does that. But it's just being so far from truth itself, what is before us. You never heard of anybody um, in the tribe of in Jacob, 12 tribes, that's that far distance outside of what Jacob said. Jacob said that Dan would do that. And it's all up in there telling you this type of people that Dan is. But we still see Judah on the corner hooping and hollering, talking to 12 tribes. What the? You know why? They never focused on Judah. They never did, y'all. Judah never had sense to just focus on himself. Judah never had, why? Because he's so busy trying to control Yah. Judah, the tribe of Judah is so busy trying to control the word that is Yah, the way of Yah, the spirit of Yah, and they trying to control him in a human form to where they don't even know who they are. They don't even know who they are. Because if you don't know that Dan is scattered over in Israel, something wrong with you. They already there, claiming to be in Zion all these years. So they bring it up now so that they can deceive the world that the return of the tribes of Israel have returned. We got Dan. We got Dan over here. Dan came way back, I think, in 1948. Listen to it. All you have to do, go key and look at it. I'm not going to give people websites and all of this because you know why? I'm not going to tell people this, go see this, go check this out. I'm just telling you, key it up on your YouTube. You find it, you do. You don't, you don't. Because I realize that I am giving a lot of food for the spirit, a whole lot. And that's all there is. And that's all it should be. I am in that vineyard and I am serving, a servant of Yah. I'm giving the light in the midst of all this darkness. And the darkness comprehend it not. That's still that same feeling. The darkness comprehend it not. So the reason why I woke up this morning, not the reason why I decided to get up and do this video, because I'm frustrated about that. I'm frustrated in a way that it kind of threw me to know that Dan got with the very one who stole his brother's ID. His brother, a whole identification, and you over there with him. They didn't stole your brother's identity, and you are all well and good with it, knowing. See, that's another thing I realized that I had to long suffer and endurance. I'm gonna say it like that. That's something I realized that I had to long suffer and endure. The fact that Judah can't see Judah. Judah can't see what has been done, what is being done, what Jacob left for him for the end day. They disrespect Jacob. They disrespect Jacob because They don't teach and preach on what Jacob said about them. He said something about all the 12 tribes, and that's where those same 12 tribes reside today, in what Jacob said. They ain't gonna let you, they ain't gonna, and that was in chapter 49, verse, I think 49, and verse 1, all the way down. They don't reside, they don't rest in that area. They don't teach it, they don't precept it, they don't line it, they don't little it, they don't go nowhere in that area. And that's why I said there's got to be something wrong with Judah. And it's not that it's got to be something wrong. Through the Spirit, I know that Yah has allowed it to continue to be what it has been since the beginning of time, a real deep, sick mental issue, even to this very day of the year 2025, because Judah should have been trying to run to truth. Judah should have been the one that's trying to run to spirit and truth with the light in his right hand. Why? Because Judah is the one that's going to be snatched all out of the four corners, out of the United States. So you would think that they would be looking forward to being brought back to the location in which was prophesied. They're not. They so busy trying to bring all Israel to the understanding of their religion. You see, that's what Judah did. Judah decided to bring up and pull up a religion and try to get as many men involved in this religion. And it's not doing well now. But Yahuwah, I think, what was that? Yahweh, or Yahweh. When he started that organization, I think about 20 something years ago, that was his thing. That's what he was calling himself doing. But it shows you how far Judah have been against Yah all this time. But nobody won't talk about it. No one won't say anything. That Yahweh, I think it was, look into that. Look how far back that was. That they had an opportunity to get it right. Never did get it right. They formed a cult, a religion, and they did some dangerous, wicked, evil at its highest in the name of what they say, Yahweh. The Most High. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Father, yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to continue to thank the Most High for not allowing me or suffering me to fall in such a large hole in which a people continue to fall therein. I thank the Father for that. I thank the Father for my new subscribers who's tuning in and pulling up. He's showing me exactly what he said. They're coming to find out what was already invested in them. I like that. And I am. You all can't see it on that end, but on this end, more and more subscribers are joining. And now, when I say more and more, understand, now I think it's like 35 in the last 30 days. But listen to this. Yah is a narrow gate. It is not going to be hundreds and thousands and millions and all that. No, no, no. Only those that are have the Ruach in them, he will draw them to this direction. And the things in which Sister Deborah is bringing forward, you all really might think that Sister Deborah, have it all and got it all packed down. No, I don't. I'm only saying what was taught to me by the Ruach. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. It ain't that I know this, and I know everything, and I need to also do more allowing individual to kind of on live to come into some sort of unity where we ask so many questions that's still out there, so we don't have to feel, and I have to be willing to embrace the questions, but I don't know how to embrace it without I can seal it. You see, and it might seem like I'm being offended, or I feel offended, or I'm against what you're saying. No, I'm just silly like that. I think I explained to y'all all the time I was in high school and even in elementary. Every word I say, everybody thought was funny. And I never could, I still today didn't understand that. But I believe it's just the way that I, how would I say, approach what is greater in me and speak it out of me with that same kind of personality, and it might seem like I'm mean, and it might seem like I get offended, or if I snap at a question, it ain't that I'm snapping at you. It's just that I'm trying to clam on the question and be able to give the answer and being silly at the same time. It's, believe it or not, I'm learning even more. It takes a sense of humor, and even a sense of humor can be someone can be offended by that sense of humor. So, like the Father says to me, He said, "I like the way I created thee, and the way that you are, I need not to change." So that's another thing, because He knows I've been speaking to Him since I was in elementary about working with my voice, squeaky, loud, raised, the way it raises up, come down, raise it up. He said, no, mm-mm. It's, it's needed, especially in the midnight hour in which we are in today. So Sister Deborah is still looking for other topics that we can really shine in on. Someone else wanted to talk about Revelation chapter 13, which I think is a good chapter, and I think I covered it a couple of times, probably only 2 times. Revelation chapter 13 is pretty much speaking of how uh, different countries going to come together, and the power of how they coming together, and how the beast is going to uh, 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 give them the power and to do what they're doing, and so on 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 and so on. But the issue with it in Revelation 13, it is very hard for people to embrace Revelation, period, in the way that it's speaking. As I'm talking to you all now, I don't know what direction it's trying to lead me, but I keep feeling in me that, Deborah, they don't know who the beast is. No one gives power to nothing but Yah. And we would think Satan is the one that's actually giving power to the beast. But Yah said nobody gives power. Nobody usher power. He's saying that to me now, y'all. Did I know that before I sat here? No. Not to the extent of what he's saying in my spirit. And why he's saying it is because while I'm speaking to y'all, I'm speaking also. Saying, but wait a minute, they keep saying the beast coming out of the water and different beasts. And then it talks about the dragon and the beast, one giving power to the other. And the Father want me to let you know, nobody gives power. He is all power. Nobody has power. So it's almost like go back to the drawing board. And the drawing board means we got to go back to Revelation 13. And maybe someone can go with me. Go back to Revelation 13. Understand those that's coming and that's going to gain the power to do what they do. Put it back in the perspective order that all power is in the Father's hand. When he gave Yeshua power, he gave him power through Hamashiach. And even the world today have no idea. When he came down as the beloved, the only begotten Son, Hamashiach, with all power, the Word and the Spirit, and the world has no idea. So I'm going to have to go back to Revelation 13 and pick up the strength of the world in Revelation 13 and how different countries coming together. And who is this ushering this power? Who is this allowing the power to be split up and turned into this and into that. That's what the Ruach is saying to me while I'm speaking to you as I sit here. He said that the problem with that in 13, man never realized that he is all power. Anybody gonna disperse any power, it's gonna be him transferring it, not nothing else. I hear you, Father. I'm with you. I'm with you. So we're gonna that's just, that right there is a power punch. Now I got to go back in and understand what is actually taking place. And that's why I tell you all, you can't just get in this book and call it the word. The word speaks for itself. It don't need us to get in it and study it and try to master it as the Father. We got to master it as the Father give it to us from him, his own word himself. And like I say, I'm sitting here speaking to you all. You all have no idea that the Ruach is telling me, get that right. That's in Revelation 13. So this evening at 7 p.m. Central Time, we're going to learn something we never learned before. We're going to learn about that power. Who is pulling that power up? Who is ushering and giving the power and dividing the power therein? And for what reason and what purpose? But then when it came out of Revelation 13, I also see 14 sitting there talking about Mount Zion. We all already in Mount Zion. How did we get to Mount Zion from Revelation 13? Because I believe during the beginning of Revelation 13, we were already transitioning to Mount Zion. To where 14 came up, we there already. One of the scariest things to me is to really keep feeling I keep feeling this. That we have not only missed some, we missed it all. Mm, 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 mm. And it was his will. You know, it's I don't want nothing more than I want Yah. Do I have them? Yeah. I don't have to do nothing to keep them. But I guess my desire is that others have him like I know I have him. And let me tell you something, y'all. Many of you all don't understand. And just because I know that I have him, he don't treat me no different than he would treat you. Do he give me his word? Yeah. He showed me spirit and truth. He showed me the light. But he ain't showing me that I'm better than nobody. I'm perfect than nobody. You see, I'm greater than nobody. He still keep me at the level of that mindset that you're human and your spirit. He keep me understanding the difference between the two. And then one is better than another person. No. Yah is not ever wanting us to think that we are exempt from the prophecies, from his word, not the word that we study, but from his word. We are not exempt. And I think more so with me being in the flesh as well as the spirit, it's just something missing, feels like. And I think it's meant that I feel it because It is already prophesied that everything is in the few and in the small and in the narrow, letting you know things are not going to be in the great or in the um, majority or in the multitude. Think of all that time he came down and he was giving the multitude the word. It's still the same, y'all. It's still the same for us to think that we're going to capture, say for me to get on this YouTube and expect to have a whole lot of subscribers and a whole lot of likes. No, that don't line up with the walk of who? Yeshua HaMashiach. He was the first fruit that we should be following, that we should be like, Christ-like. And if we can't follow him, then what are we following? And I want to tell y'all something you all do not know. The tribe of Judah is in full denial or in full mindset to follow Christ. Their ways is nowhere near Christ. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's why people want to all the time run back to Torah, to lose you so they can lose you. They want to run to Torah so they can lose you, because they know in Torah they can lose you, meaning you'll believe anything if they can take you back to Torah. But the truth be told, take me to Yeshua HaMashiach, who gave me more to go on in understanding my Father, his Father, my Father, our Creator. Take me there. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go there. And they doing him the same way they doing Paul, re-crucifying him. And it's okay. It's okay. Because it was said that narrow is the gate and a small remnant. And 144, hey, y'all, that's 1%. And the world has no idea. And I can't understand, out of all the intelligence that is said to be on this earth, you mean no one ever pointed out 144,000? It's like 1%. If 1,000 to the Most High is like unto one day, what do you think 144,000 is to him? I'm sitting here telling, to me, it's like 1%. But just imagine what it is to the Father. If 1,000 years is like a one day to the Father, then just imagine what 144,000 is to him. You see? Why is it not needed to be in a large number? Because the reason why, now I want y'all to hear this, because this is also something you can put in your spiritual backpack. The reason why it's not needed to be, Sister Deborah, to fall under the large multitude or be under of many likes and many subscribers is because Yah is bringing, no matter what, he's bringing it into a oneness. In him, he sees it as a oneness. He don't see it as, 3 million subscribers or a million likes. Oh no. When he see, if he were to see 3 million subscribers and a million likes, he still see it as a oneness. So the count as numbers as we see it don't mean a rat's behind. In him, it is still a oneness. It is a oneness in oneness as a unit, in unity. That's it. It's still a oneness in the unity of who he is. That's why he don't want us to think one is better than the other. One is this. When you're looking at Sister Deborah, you're looking at somebody who has been called out, appointed, and anointed. I have long suffered in the spirit more so than I have ever long suffered in the flesh. Seriously, y'all. Have I long suffered in the flesh? Yes. Since I was a little girl. but it can't compare to the long suffering in the spirit, because the long suffering in the spirit holds spirit and truth. It holds truth. But the long suffering in the flesh, it is not spirit and truth. So it cannot compare to the suffering and the long suffering and the endurance in the spirit. And I thank the Most High Yah. I thank the Most High Yah for that. I really do. And I was telling you that when I see people on YouTube all the time, they have their cup, and they might not have a cup like this, but they have a coffee cup. Some of them have all kind of cups, and they'll do this. They don't do it like that. They say, it's so much deception. They want you to believe. Why? Because it gives them time to think. It's a Jesuits way of being able to speak and bring the speech or the speak in a very professional way, because it's, if I'm drinking and it's going down. Their idea of, if I'm talking, it gives you that thought, it brings that brain to a level of a minute, a second of slowing your conversation down to where you can pull up even more in a more professional way. So that's why they sip them cups. It's nothing in their cups. Notice that. It's nothing in them cups. And me, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to be on YouTube selling a deception that I'm sipping off a cup. This is my coffee. Yeah, right. So I said to the father, I said, look how they sip in the cup. The deception is real. Yes. Because who are they fooling? You. They got their little cup, they cup there making you think they sipping all the cup. They ain't go. Next time you run up on it, watch it. They ain't sipping. It's that form of deception, showing you that they have mastered deception to the point where they can bring what they're teaching to a level of professional if they're able to stop for a second and then speak. People think that, like Sister Deborah, she don't seem like she have no stopping, just talking. But with them, they can speak words in an elegant and in a proper way, and they can bring they video, what they're saying in a certain way, because they have learned the deception and how they can make their words float as if they know what they're talking about and they are professional. With me, I'm strictly about the Ruach. I'm strictly about just putting it out there and just saying it. The Ruach will do the rest. That's it. But that's not how they use these platforms. They use it under the form of deception. My daughter texted me last night and said she wanted me to keep my granddaughter today because her and her daughter, and I think her boyfriend, they want to go to the movies, which is fine with me. That's my grandbaby. That's why I'm here. As far as being able, as a grandmother, being able to have that time with my grandbaby. And I'm a type of person that I don't get into people's marriages. My daughter had been married for years, and her husband, oh, he was a beautiful man, and him and I had a really good relationship. Even when he was wanting to divorce my daughter, she had no idea. He communicated with me. I never told her. He communicated with me, and he told me he did. It wasn't nothing there. She didn't warn him out to where he don't even have nothing there for her, and she continued to do all kind of things, and she had no idea. He communicated with me. And all I said to him, you do what your heart leads you to do. I knew he was a beautiful person. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not for people who think that, cause this. No, y'all gonna sit down somewhere with that mess. Ain't nobody into all that mess because y'all into all that mess. I'm about truth and righteous. I knew that this young man was a good man. I knew that he was he mean well, and he took care of her. He did her well. He made sure she was want to do everything she wanted to do, and she made sure he was the best man that he could possibly be. I mean, this guy, he never did have anything going for himself. And he was a young man. His parents didn't let him go to high school. They didn't let him go to school. They made him sit in the house pretending they was homeschooling him. So he had to learn school himself. They didn't teach him anything. And then I think he was like 300 pounds. And when he met my daughter, um, he was at that moment already uh, had lost the weight, and he was eating very, very healthy, and he was a bodybuilder. Hmm. Yeah. So he just had a not a good lifestyle, and all of what he ever said to me he wanted to be, she made sure he got to those goals. Yes, she did. He went in to be a firefighter. He went to his classes. He's passed his test, and he went to school. He did everything to be a firefighter. And guess what else? He wanted to be a fitness director. He got that degree. He went to school. He wanted before he did all of that, she made sure he got his high school diploma. Oh yeah, she put. I mean, it's everything in his life. She led him to all these positive things. She even showed this man how to be a father. She made sure she didn't do everything. She made sure he knew his role. So I'm gonna tell you, it's a good things that she did, you know, for him and to him. And uh she made him a better man because his parents, he had a mother and father that was in the house. They didn't leave him to be anything. And he was 300 pounds at first, but very, very attractive man. He's a bodybuilder. And I mean, what you mean called a bodybuilder. And she like for school, picking up his daughter, every activity in school, he had to be there, and he enjoyed it. And the relationship he had with his daughter, the relationship he had with his daughter, he had with, it's all because of my daughter teaching him. So even though he couldn't deal with her and the pressure, which I could understand, I raised that child. And even though I raised her, there were things that I couldn't, how would I say it, remove. It was things that I couldn't, because what? She is her father's child. And that's what people don't understand. That's why I can tell people something. People don't think you can tell nobody nothing, but yes, you can. How can you tell somebody something, Deborah? It's when the Ruach has taught you as a little girl where it started, where it will end. I've told her when she was 8 years old, I said, your life will end through your asthma. And she'll tell y'all today. I told her that. Long as I was able to have her up until she was 15 and she left out to college, I had it in control. She might have had a flare up of her asthma maybe once a year. When she took over, every month, 2 and 3 times a month, even to now. So I told her how things would turn out, just like Jacob told his 12. A lot of us don't understand. When you are a servant of the Most High Yah, it's better to tell the truth than the lie. Like I was telling y'all about Quiet Storm and how he's going in the way of his wife. But guess what, y'all? They have no idea what I know. And what I know is what I know. And I know that Yah is with me in spite of what he told me. And what did he tell me about Quiet Storm? He was 6 months old. 6 months. And he told me I would never know him. But what you all didn't understand, Quiet Storm was Philip that had passed away. Y'all said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. When you get to know the Father, you know how he moves. You see? And I thought, ain't no thought. I know that he was coming back just to be an overseer to me. And in the process of him being an overseer, I released him to be the best that he knew how. And when I say released him spiritual, which I don't understand. And in that process of releasing him spiritual to be the best that he can be, I have no problem with that. But there's a reason why the release is necessary. Because I knew the beginning and I know the end, but what I did not know, what is the purpose of him being 6 months old and I never knew him? You remember in the kingdom, it was said, we just gonna say it was said. They gonna say I did. And what is it he gonna say? I never knew thee. See, that's why I say a lot of y'all listen to Sister Deborah, but you don't listen. Everything has to be dissected by the spirit realm. Not so much quick to understand it in the flesh and have the reason of why. In the flesh, you have to route it in the spirit. And I keep saying that throughout my videos. You have to take everything. It's getting hot and then you have to take everything back to the realm of the spirit. And there you meet it and Yah will reveal it to the fullness. You got to trust the Father word through the spirit, not through the way of the flesh. You got to trust it through the way of the spirit. Now, when I said that, I'm not saying that that's his direction but when he says you'll never know him, it reminds me of that saying when it was said. Now, we ain't saying this is really what it is because we don't know what they put in and what they smeared out outside of if it's not matching the spirit. It was said that they said they did this in the name, they did this. So therefore they were imitating down here one thing. But when they got to the kingdom, he said, I never knew thee. You see? So when I hear you will never know him, I'm looking at the fact I say, I know he's here to be an overseer because of what I once had, and that was Philip. And Philip passed away. So here go Joseph matching identical to Philip. And I'm like, okay. It's deep. And let me not get into it because I already know. And when Sister Deborah is talking to you all, in me is searching the true ones on the outside, just to see if people can dissect things in the spirit and pull it out and nail it. And I'm really looking forward to that spirit of Yah dwelling in individuals to be able to support the spirit that's in me, that's telling me one thing and telling you the same thing. And then that's that oneness. You see, when he's saying he that has an ear, he said, I'm only speaking that to the one that can come into a oneness with me. It's a spiritual ear. That's what? A oneness. You see what I'm saying? So even when sometimes I'm talking, I'm searching for the one, you see, to can come into that oneness, meaning he that has an ear to hear what I'm saying, hear. And if you hear, come into that oneness. And when a person starts to speak and you hear a lot of things and you take heed to it, but the whole overall is the oneness is what you're looking for. And it's not the oneness of my understanding. It's the oneness that Yah has already given me enough to understand with the ear to hear. Then you search for others to have that same ear to hear. But it don't work like that all the time. And it's okay because you do want to hear from people because it allows you to realize that you're just not spiritual. You're human. You're flesh. And to hear others is a good thing. It's always a good thing because the way of what the flesh says, it would also assure you where you're at in the spirit. You see why? Because you'll notice that in the spirit, Yah will teach you one thing, and you'll hear what the flesh say. And a lot of times the flesh is saying the opposite of what the spirit has said. But you embrace it because now you know the mind of what the spirit can comprehend. You see, that's what now you know the mind, not the mind of the spirit, but the mind of the flesh. You know what they comprehend, and it's okay because you really look for that oneness. And I think we were speaking of that. I was speaking of that yesterday when he said one baptism, one spirit, one Father, one Yah, one everything. That's what we want. We want to come into that oneness, not the oneness that has the ability to be well understood in the natural. That's the whole idea of when you hear he that has an ear. It's talking about he that has that oneness in hearing what the Spirit is saying. He's looking for the oneness, that unity in one. So it's just so much, and I'm not going to be able to speak on it. So much that I've been given, and a lot of times I myself sometimes be talking so much, and a lot of times I'm talking things I shouldn't talk about because that oneness is still what is in the spirit of truth. And you search to find someone who might speak on that same level, and you I fail to realize it's still going to be like he said, only those that I have given. You see, it still takes you right back to what the spirit has given, want to know, to understand, to comprehend, even to the point of the light. You just can't give nobody the light, Deborah. You just can't give nobody spirit and truth. My spirit has to pour out that. My spirit has to give that. You see? And I'm grateful for that. That all that power is in him because I wouldn't know what to do with it. So Sister Deborah, will be back at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I'm hoping that he'll help me go in to search that power in Revelation 13. What is going on with that power? As I was talking to you all, he was saying to me, Deborah, they missing something. And I said, well, if they missing it, I am too. Then he said, well, I want you to go back to understand one thing. Nobody has the power but me. Praise the mighty Yah. So we today understand No one has the power to do anything to us, through us, against us, or for us without the power of the right hand of the Father, all power. So I'll be back at 7 p.m. Central Time. Shalom and shalom.